Semifinal Saturday here at the Sims Bassmaster Elite at Lake Fork. The anglers who are lined up down the bank are the ones that are excited today because they get one more day at least to fish on this legendary body of water, Lake Fork. What a special lake, what a special venue for the Elite Series, and what a legendary host in the sport of bass fishing. When it takes over 60 pounds to lead after 2 days, you know you have a special place. When it takes 17 pounds a day for some anglers and that are going home today, Such, we only have the top 47, and some of those guys who had 34 pounds did not make it to semifinal Saturday. You had to catch them good here. Everybody's getting situated as we head out in hopes of making the top 10 cut and fishing on Championship Sunday here at Lake Fork.
Yeah, we had a few less limits on day 2, 81, and the average fish went down from 312, a couple ounces, but the guy still caught me. He still had 30 bags over 20 pounds. We had Brandon Polnick, his first ever 30 bag in the league competition, and a couple guys, 5-6 guys on pace for 100 pounds. Of course, Lee Livesey's ready to blow it out of the water, but who knows? You never know.
Yeah, it looked like the number of 12 to 15 pound bags, the ones that get you cut, those were a little bit bigger yesterday. A lot more of those, a little bit less of the 18 pound bags, but a lot more 20 pound bags. And like you said, we got to have a 30 pound bag each day of competition so far. It's going to be neck and neck throughout the deal, but the guys at the top do have a little bit of a gap. Welcome in to the Yamaha Facebook Live pre-show. If you're just joining us, this is day 3, kicking it off, and the anglers are sitting on the bank waiting to get going in the next few minutes, and that is the way our leaderboard look after 2 days of competition. Lee Livesey, Brandon Polnick, Brian New, Gerald Swindle, and Shane LeHue are your top 5. Took over 50 pounds, 25 pounds a day just to get in the top 5 of this event. Day 1 leader Cliff Prince fell down to 6th place. David Mullins in the Angler of the Year race, 7th. Derek Hudnall, Paul Mueller needed this good week of a tournament, and they have produced. And then we've got Canadian Chris Johnston sitting in 10th, repping for the Northern squad.
We got all these guys on camera. Just outside of there is Chad Pipkins, came in, jumped up from way deep with 27 pounds, 8 ounces, has the Phoenix Boats Big Bass in 811. Proved Zona right that the day before, the 810 would be beat every day.
Yes.
So we'll see about today, who knows. And then we had Tyler Rivette with an 8-0. So 2 8-pounders yesterday. We had, I think I counted up like 9 over 7 pounds, where day 1 we had about 13 over 7 pounds.
You know who I feel bad for? Even though he caught a big bass, I feel bad for Chad Pipkins. Because even in 2019, when he had the 63 pounds after 2 days of lead,
31 day,
he didn't get to hold up a fish at weigh-in because all of his fish were under 24 inches, but they were giant.
Yeah.
Yesterday, did not get to weigh in that 811 on stage because it was under 24 inches. If you're just joining us this week and you have not paid attention to the past few years, we will get you informed. Lake Fork, special lake because it has a slot limit. Texas Parks and Wildlife helped manage this lake and build it into what it is, a big bass factory. Every fish, normally from 16 to 24 inches, does not count in a tournament because they cannot keep them in the live well.
Immediately release it.
So we are doing catch, weigh, release this week so we can count those fish from 16 to 24 inches. Anything over 24, you can bring it in your live well to the weigh-in. Texas Parks and Wildlife will check it out as well and evaluate it and do different DNA samples and whatnot to help prolong and expand the big fish that are here at Lake Fork. It's a great conservation aspect and it's a great celebration of sport. It's fitting this week that we get to celebrate Lake Fork, conservation, and the memory of Ray Scott this week for all that he's done for the sport.
Oh, you know, Ray Scott was such a big player, the founder of B.A.S.S and Mr. B.A.S S. I mean, all these anglers are really showing their respects to the man that has them working in the industry. Everybody in the industry should show Mr. Scott
and we need
respect and gratitude.
We need to work hard, like I said on day 1 of this event, to help prolong the memory of him to the 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds now, those young anglers that are learning about fishing. Even though Ray Scott is gone, we will never forget him, and we need to do our best to share his legacy.
We're telling good stories
of him. It is a special one. We got to talk to our day 1 leader, Cliff Prince, who fell back a little bit yesterday, but still in contention in 6th place, and he is the guy we got to talk at takeoff this morning before they get launched in the next few minutes.
Well, you know, yesterday was not quite as good as the first day, of course, but I mean, saying that, I mean, I've been fishing this Elite Series for 10 years now, and 32 something is probably my second biggest bag I've ever caught in 10 years. So that being said, you know, realistically, we're looking for a 20-plus pound bag today to make the top 10 and just stay in contention. And we're going to run some stuff that we fished yesterday, and then if that doesn't work, we're going to go run some new stuff and try to find some more fish, some big ones.
Cliff Prince, the Floridian, he knows what it's like to be a local favorite, St. Johns River, every single year. He knows the pressure that's on Lee Livesey, and after 32 pounds, 5 ounces, you're allowed to have a little bit of a slip up on day 2.
Now, if you want to win.
He didn't break the 20-pound mark yesterday, but he's still in contention because of his great day 1.
Yeah, he and I share a birthday, Ronnie. He only had 18.6, but he's over 50 pounds. He's got 50.11, 6th place. He's on that track for 100, which we're hoping to see multiple, or thinking we're going to see multiple. Depends on the conditions the next 2 days and how things going. We're going to have some elbow room today. We knocked a bunch of anglers out, cut it from 92 to 47 going out today.
Like you mentioned, 6th place, 50 pounds, 11 ounces. If you are in the top 6 right now, Lee Livesey, Brandon Polinick, Brian New, Gerald Swindle, Shane LeHue, and Cliff Prince, you are on pace for the century mark. But I will say we've gotten a little spoiled over the years, Such, watching Lake Fork, because the century mark is almost a guarantee. Even in the fall, we've seen people break 100 pounds. And so century mark is the bar if you want to compete. I want to break 100 pounds, but to win, it may not be in your fortunes. You might have to have 120 this week. And that guy right there, Gerald Swindle, showed up this week in a big way. 29 pounds and 7 ounces on day 1, 22.5 yesterday. And the big story of the week, Such, is yes, Lake Fork is a little bit low, about 5.5 feet low. It's made it a lot smaller. It's made some of these offshore spots. Yeah, it's made the offshore spots fish a little smaller.
Yesterday here.
But the uptick in wind, we've had a strong south wind the first 2 days of competition. We should have that as well today. It has made some of these anglers trying to fish solely offshore. It's made them work a little harder because it's not easy to stay on those small, they're not big areas, they're little areas like a 50-foot spot.
Yeah, staying on there, getting beaten up, but then other sides of the lake are totally blown out. They can't even fish it, they've been saying. Some of them have reported that. That it's shrunk it even more, the high wind.
Gerald Swindle locked a big worm in his hand yesterday. He mentioned a few different types that he may throw, and that was his bread and butter on how he caught most of his fish. That late fish we saw at the end of the day, he made a spot rotation. It was closer to the dam, caught a 6-pounder out of some brush. That was a huge and important fish, and it's all in hopes of chasing this guy down. The defending champion, the local favorite, Lee Livesey. Man, the pressure of trying to win at your home body of water. And yesterday, Such, I don't know if it was Lake Fork treating him nice. I don't necessarily believe that there are fish gods, but the luck of his 2 fish yesterday that he landed, 2 5+ pounders wrapped up in the timber on a crankbait, and he was able to play with them for 3 or 4 minutes and get those fish in the boat, something that does not
happen. Reached way down there with his rod, got his arm in the water, got wet, thought he got his microphone wet, and both of them broke off whatever little branch the line was hung around, and got both fish in, which he was just like dumbfounded and unbelievable. It never happens, he said.
All of a sudden we see him pull hard on his line to possibly break or dislodge his line, and boom, the old
fish with
rotten tree limb that snaps, and we see a big fish come to the surface, and he was shocked as can be. But what an event, what a 2 days so far for Lee Livesey. 32 pounds on day 1.
Yesterday, 28.10. He had his big 7-11.
Probably
through 5 pluses.
Probably largely disappointed with 28 pounds as well. Like he wants to get 30 a day in hopes of breaking the all-time record.
Yeah, he needed that 30. He needed to get rid of that 413 with about a 7.
So if he does want to break that all-time record, what's he on pace for? He's on pace for about 121 pounds right now, but
he needs 132.8, so he needs to average about 33 a day.
Have about another
average that. So 42 would put you in the nice.
Have a 42-pound bag like last year. That would help a lot.
That would lift your average way up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're going to have a great day of bass fishing. Semifinal Saturday here, the top 47. We're going to bring the big show to your living rooms in just a few minutes, 8 a.m. Eastern time. We'll be on Bassmaster.com, but also for 5 straight hours on Fox Sports 1, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be on Fox Sports 1. We will see you there with Tommy, Z, Mercer, and Davey. Such and I will join you. Thank you for joining us on the Yamaha Facebook Live pre-show. We'll see you at takeoff in just a few minutes from Lake Fork.